Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got breaking news coming out from Yemen to share with you. So, late last night, the United States sent long range B-2 stealth bombers on over to Yemen and bombed multiple targets. We had 5 underground weapon storage locations that were hit using bunker busting bombs, most likely destroying these facilities. This is what appears to be a major warning to Iran as well, as obviously we know that Israel is primed to attack Iran at some given time here in the future. And we know that Iran may strike back at Israel and maybe even attack U.S. targets. Who knows what will happen here, what the repercussions will be after Israel carries out their strike, which is expected to be in the next 2 to 3 weeks from what I reported to you guys, I think yesterday, the day before. So we're going to talk more about this today, as apparently these were pretty big strikes inside of Yemen, destroying 5 underground bunkers being used by the Houthi rebels in Yemen. So let's talk more about this. I've got a news article we're going to be going over on mainstream news, and then I've also got a report on X that talks about some of the weaponry that may have been used in these strikes or what could even be used on Iran in the future. So obviously a major warning going out to Iran coming from the United States. And then also we're going to go over the CENTCOM press release that talks about this report. Okay, so let's hop on over to mainstream news just for a moment. From the Times of Israel, U.S. stealth bombers hit Houthi underground weapons depots in apparent warning to Iran. Long-range B-2 plane reported used in Yemen strike for the first time. U.S. Defense Secretary Austin says operation shows ability to target enemies' facilities that are seemingly out of reach. Okay, that's what Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said today, that this demonstrates the ability for them to strike facilities that may seem out of reach, like in Yemen. Obviously, again, warning Iran about their nuclear facilities or any underground bunkers that they have. They could definitely strike them using these B-2 bombers. So this is a picture of one of these B-2 Spirit bombers that were used in last night's raid inside of Yemen. So it says here, U.S. long-range B-2 stealth bombers launched airstrikes early Thursday morning, targeting underground bunkers used by Yemen's Houthi rebels. Officials said it wasn't immediately clear what damage was done in the strikes. However, there are no previous reports of the B-2 Spirit being used in strikes targeting the Houthis, who have been attacking ships for months in the Red Sea corridor over the Israel-Hamas war in the Gaza Strip, as well as launching direct attacks on Israel. Okay, so this is actually the first time, from what I understand, the B-2 stealth bombers have ever been used inside of Yemen. I think the last time they were used in a mission could have been back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So these aren't used very often. I think these things are about $1 billion a piece, so they're very expensive to maintain, okay? So the Houthis are Al Masirah satellite news channel reported airstrikes around Yemen's capital, Sana'a, which the group has held since 2014. They also reported strikes around the Houthi stronghold of Saida. I don't know if it's Saida. They offered no immediate information on damage or casualties. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said in a statement that the B-2 bombers targeted 5 hardened underground weapon storage locations in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen. Okay, so 5 underground storage locations were hit. The strike also appeared to be an indirect warning to Iran, the Houthis' main benefactor, which has targeted Israel with ballistic missile attacks twice over the past year. So here's a picture of U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. It says right here, the B-2 would be used in any American attack on hardened Iranian nuclear facilities like Natanz or Fordo, given it is the only aircraft in service that can drop the GBU-57, known as the Massive Ordnance Penetrator. This was a unique demonstration of the United States' ability to target facilities that our adversaries seek to keep out of reach, no matter how deeply buried underground, hardened, or fortified, Austin said. Austin and the U.S. military's Central Command offered no immediate assessment of the damage done. However, Central Command said in a statement that initial assessments suggested, no civilians have been killed. Okay, so hopefully that's the case, that there were no civilians killed, but considering that these were precise strikes on some of these facilities, probably located outside of the cities, underground, probably in some of the mountains or something is where these were struck. So pretty crazy to be seeing the U.S. using B-2 stealth bombers to be striking these facilities inside of Yemen. And this is obviously a major warning to Iran not to try anything stupid if Israel goes ahead and carries out this retaliation strike on Iran, which is expected. I reported to you guys, I think it was yesterday, that Israel's ready to strike back against Iran. That was reported on multiple mainstream news outlets just yesterday. So it looks like it's going to be coming here very soon in the next couple weeks, probably before the elections is what was being reported. We'll see what Iran's response is going to be, but this is definitely a major warning and message being sent to Iran that if they try anything, outrageous and try to retaliate, that this could be the result. The U.S. using these B-2 stealth bombers to strike targets inside of Iran and destroy some of their underground facilities. So let's hop on over here to X now. We've got this report from Mosin Defender. Interestingly, the B-2 Spirit stealth, a strategic stealth bomber, is one of only a few aircraft in the U.S. Air Force's inventory that is able to drop the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, or MOP, which is a 30,000-pound precision-guided bunker buster that is able to penetrate close to 100 feet into the ground before exploding. So this is a picture of one of those ordnance right here. It's pretty crazy. It can go 100 feet into the ground. So, most facilities are probably not much deeper than that. This thing can definitely strike deep enough to destroy some of these facilities for sure. According to the U.S., most likely they destroyed these underground bunkers inside of Yemen. Okay, so again, there's a picture of that. So let's move on to the press release now from U.S. CENTCOM. U.S. Central Command posts on Twitter, U.S. Central Command conducts multiple strikes on underground Iran-backed Houthi weapons facilities. Okay, so here's the press release. We'll go over this real quick. And it says here, Headquarters, United States Central Command. This just coming out yesterday, October 16th, 2024. So this was happening late last night. I think it was probably around 8, 9 o'clock last night when many of us were getting ready for bed in the United States. That was my time, Pacific Standard Time. So for you guys on the East Coast, it was probably closer to like 11 or midnight for many of you on the East. So it says here, U.S. Central Command conducts multiple strikes on underground Iran-backed Houthi weapons facilities. And it says U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM forces conducted multiple precision airstrikes on numerous Iran-backed Houthi weapons storage facilities within Houthi control areas of Yemen that contained various advanced conventional weapons used to target U.S. and international military and civilian vessels navigating international waters throughout the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. These actions were taken to degrade the Houthis' capability to continue their reckless and unlawful attacks on international commercial shipping and on U.S. coalition and merchant personnel vessels in the Red Sea, Bab al-Mandeb Strait, and the Gulf of Aden, and to degrade their ability to threaten regional partners. CENTCOM forces targeted the Houthis' hardened underground facilities housing missiles, weapons components, and other munitions used to target military and civilian vessels throughout the region. U.S. Air Force and U.S. Navy assets, including U.S. Air Force B-2 Spirit long-range stealth bombers, were part of the operation. The employment of the B-2 bomber demonstrates U.S. global strike capabilities to reach these targets when necessary, anytime, anywhere. Our battle damage assessments are underway and do not indicate civilian casualties. We will provide updates as information is confirmed. Okay, so we don't have any updates yet as to if these facilities for sure are destroyed. Most likely they are, or at least heavily damaged underground. So we'll see if we get some information later coming out in regards to that. But something that I wanted to note is that recently, I'd say over the last maybe 3 months or so, maybe longer, we've seen lots of attacks on ships inside of the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden. Primarily the Red Sea and the Bab al-Mandeb Strait is where a lot of these attacks take place. Lots of merchant vessels coming under attack. We've even had lots of attacks on U.S. warships as well. There was just an attack not too long ago, I want to say within the last month, where we had two U.S. warships that came under heavy attack. Something like 23 to 26 ballistic missiles were fired, and we didn't have any damage of these ships being hit, but they definitely did come under a heavy ballistic missile attack. So it's about time that the U.S. responded with some sort of heavy strike onto Yemen, and I was expecting this to come at least some point soon. So it looks like the U.S. finally carried out a major strike inside of Yemen, and this is another warning not only to Iran, but even to Yemen, that the U.S. will do whatever is necessary to protect the warships that are down there as well. But I think for the most part, and many people will probably agree with this, the U.S. has been very complacent for the most part when it comes to Yemen, or even just in general in conflicts around the world. They appear to be very complacent and try not to attack too much. We do see strikes inside of Yemen from time to time, like U.S.-led coalition strikes, with the U.S. and the U.K. striking targets in Yemen, usually on the ground. But nothing other than that for the most part. But now it looks like the U.S. is escalating and taking it up another notch and demonstrating their ability to strike facilities underground. And then obviously this is a major warning to Iran that they could strike their underground targets as well. Okay, so definitely a major strike inside of Yemen to report to you guys. And then also to get you caught up and let you know that the U.S. is definitely involved with Israel and will come to Israel's aid to defend them and be willing to use B-2 stealth bombers to strike targets even in Iran. Okay, so that's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.